The virus came from China, but we're supposed to call it COVID. Our leaders did nothing to prevent it from spreading originally, but no one seems to notice. Or we forgot, or we don't remember. They say, no one could have predicted this. Yeah, except for everyone that did, back in December. Now, the rules change every 5 seconds, like we're COVID goldfish. Don't celebrate Thanksgiving together. Wear masks everywhere you go. Seems like the real COVID test is to test us to see what we'll put up with. Will Canadians complain? Will they stand up and say something? Well, we have a black-faced fake feminist breaking promises, working with fake charities, and we haven't said nothing. A gun ban for hunters. Well, illegal guns in Toronto keep pumping. Unfortunately, being a Canadian is starting to mean being a woke doormat, an indoctrinated comrade, or a naive country bumpkin. Shelters are filling up. Tent cities are popping up. Indigenous reserves still get no love. You think Trudeau cares about those Canadians? He clearly doesn't give a fuck. He loves giving entire hotels to migrants, though, many of whom illegally crossed our border, and letting us taxpayers cover the room service bill. Look at all these things I did not order. But do Canadians say anything about that? Nope. We just roll over. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. We don't want to upset anyone. We don't want to stir the pot. Our ancestors fought and died for our freedoms. Now we just put on our mask and shut up. We don't ask any questions about the lopsided science they spread. What about the lack of COVID deaths, our rising debt? So many people are getting used to getting their worldview spoon-fed to them like they're brain dead. Listen to your heart, folks. Because you might be as brainwashed as it gets. Like Justin Trudeau said, we're going into debt, so you don't have to. You're either stupid, or fucking stupid if you think that's true. No one making decisions right now seems to have any foresight. It's just, oh, what are we going to watch on Netflix tonight? When's my Uber Eats going to arrive? All the world's problems will go away if we just vote out that racist orange guy, and then we dive into our phones and we wonder why we feel like we want to die, trying to fill that void inside. Not that much has changed in the past year. But what we're consuming has consumed our minds. The toxicity floods our eyes. Stress levels rise, reading line after line. Another article passes by. More outrage, false hopes, half-truths, entire lies. Don't worry, guy. The new normal is just controlling your entire life. Your dream of owning a home or a small business? Bye-bye. And really, who has died? All you hear about is more cases, more sickness, more cases. Not many more deaths at all in Canada, but more cases, and still not a single statement or policy conversation about handling people differently at different ages. Do you not see the dishonesty and incompetence coming from our so-called leaders? I'm losing my patience. Oh, it's nothing like communism, son, my dad nervously says, trying to ignore what's staring us right in our faces. Just agree with all communist ideals so you don't get called racist. I mean, who benefits from these lockdowns anyway? Oh, totalitarian politicians and massive corporations. Do you think that has anything to do with helping Canadians? Please. The CBC exists to keep you sedated and naive. And anyone who disagrees probably has a union job or is a federal employee. And let's face it, if you work in the Canadian news media, you now fall under both categories. Oh, relax, Greg. Lockdown is protecting people's lives and their health. Health? By encouraging people to live in a cell? Don't exercise, don't socialize, use glory holes, get used to being alone by yourself? Everyone's staying inside. People are getting fatter, I'm sure. We cashed in on the CERB. Loved ones didn't get to the hospital, didn't get cured. Now you still want us on lockdown after we flattened the curve. Can we get back to work? Get back to the feeling of worth? Everyone is filled up with fear and losing it because lockdown hurts. Fuck your social distance, mask-wearing regiment. Deaths from mental illness and lockdown consequences aren't mentioned in any measurements. Suicide rates are up, homelessness and joblessness. All we hear is build back better. Just ask the green economist. We're talking about face mask rules and not talking about the false positives. We're talking about fear, and more fear, building COVID centers like we're COVID communists. Empty hospitals, and every leader that isn't solely focused on getting things back to normal as soon as possible is full of it. Dishonest pricks, because for anyone who's watching Parliament, it's just obnoxiousness. Nothing new there. They just say they're opposites. They say they're on different teams, but it's getting pretty fucking obvious. Hashtag Paris Accord, Migration Pact, Agenda 2030. Look it up if you need to ask. It's an elite club, and you're not in it. Pay the taxes, bigot, and if you're a centrist or a leftist, just believe everything they say and don't question a single bit of it. The press fearmongers faster than the virus even spreads. It's real, sure, but it's like the flu, and the rest is in your head. Turn on CBC, CNN, and you hear it from talking heads. It isn't hopeful. It isn't helping. It's just COVID, COVID, COVID. Thanks for the anxiety and existential dread. You really think the news cares about your mental health? Take a guess. I am sick. I'm sick from the doom and gloom. I'm sick of the dread. I'm sick of being told to stay inside and breathe my own breath. I'm sick of living a life where I already feel dead. And if you want some relief and you want to feel better and feel human again, look up from your device and take a walk instead. Get some fresh air, stretch your legs, talk to a friend. This is not normal. Do not roll over in your bed. Am I a crazy, paranoid, racist conservative? No, but that's what they'll try to call you in the press for simply standing up, stepping out of line and saying, I want this lockdown to end. I'm a Canadian. My name's Greg. If you enjoyed that, feel free to share that with a friend.